Good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon, or whenever you're watching it. So I'm at Ivy House Lakes. Tiny bit disappointing. There's only 7 turned up for Heron Pool. Heron's stuffed full of fish, and definitely the fish are beginning to wake up now. Obviously, as you can see from watching the video, it is flat calm. It's very cold. We had quite a substantial sort of frost. It wasn't as bad as yesterday's, as in Saturday. I think it was -4. Day, I believe it was -2. So I'm not going to exaggerate and say, oh my god, it was like -6 or whatever, worst conditions ever. But the conditions are definitely not favourable, as you can see. So water's pretty clear, bright sunshine, not really a great combo. However, I've been lucky. I've drawn peg 8, which is fantastic peg. So I can't moan about the draw. So methods wise, going to start on the feeder. I have one on the feeder. On a little cage. So fished a little cage feeder. Basically, I plugged some pinkies in it and then just tabbed it off with a little bit of fish meal ground bait. So I just used Hinder's sweet dark fish meal. So makes quite wet. So it's almost like not a slop. Obviously, it's going to fall out on cast, but it's quite a stodgy sort of almost like a paste, to be honest. And the reason why I do this is I feel if I fish a maggot feeder, I'm not being funny, because the water's so cold, don't believe the maggots or pinkies or whatever you put in that maggot feeder are going to really wriggle out. They only tend to come out when you wind it back in. So otherwise you're just going to have like a snail trail of maggots. It's very deep on the far bank. I don't know the precise depth against the far bank. It's not as deep as peg 4 because when the pole limit was lifted, in other words, you could fish any length of pole you wanted. Peg 4 did surprise me because tight against the far bank, which was 20 metres, well, 19.8 metres, then that was actually 3 foot. I think it's just over 3 foot, like 3 foot 2 inches. But I feel the far bank on this peg is not as deep. I probably would say at a guess maybe 18 inch. Now, not be fun if you get a maggot feeder, you could fill it up 3/4, but I still feel that they ain't going to come out. So that's what I do anyway. 12-inch hook length for bow 12. But it was very slow to start off with. I think I had 3 fish on the feeder, and then me being me, I just love fishing the pole, to be honest. And just fishing the pole and maggots and just tapping in maggots via a toss pot. I don't mean as in a person's a toss pot, as in toss pot, the cad pot, or whatever you want to call them, on the end of your pole. And just that was it, really. Just literally tapping in 15 maggots, and then just fishing a red maggot on the hook. 012 mainline to a 08 hook length. Besides than watching Gary Etheridge. And yeah, that's it. Like a 1.8 mil elastic through a top kit, so it's nice and soft. Fish a 0.2 gram float. So yeah, happy days. It's not a lot more I can really say, to be honest. Rotation of like lines and stuff, but it was a case where you catch a couple of fish, and to be honest with you, they just end up backing off. So that's the video, really summed up. Don't really need to make an half an hour video and say everything's absolutely fantastic. These are absolutely superb. Yeah, I don't need to do all that. Never have done any of that in my videos anyway. If you want to carry on watching, happy days. I ended up with £38 come second, £46 won it on 21. There was a little bit of an issue with it wasn't an issue at all. The paperwork, the weight board is actually incorrect. But yeah, I enjoyed it. That next to Rob, I was really lucky to just pit Rob. Rob had £37. To be honest with you, I think if Rob was catching me up, I think I was 5 fish up on him at one stage. So Rob's done well to put it back. And if we had another like quarter of an hour, I think Rob would have beat me, to be fair, because he was catching a lot better than what I was towards the end. So fair play to him. Yeah, everything was caught on maggots. Rob caught on maggots. I believe the winner caught on maggots. So, but give it another month, I think pellets will kick in, and then it would be caster, blaster, overshotted rigs, and monging it, tapping on top of the water, catching fish.